I never thought I'd be the kind of person writing on a forum like this. I've always kept my problems private, but I need to get this off my chest because I can't tell anyone in my real life. Not my colleagues, not my family, and especially not Rebecca. Rebecca and I have been married for 6 years. We met in graduate school, both studying literature, with dreams of becoming professors. I mean, she's brilliant, passionate about the 19th century women writers. I fell hard and fast, and we got married soon after graduation, both landing positions at the same university in a small-town college. Our lives together have been comfortable. A charming craftsman home, stimulating discussions about books, dinner parties with other faculty. From the outside, we must look like the perfect academic couple, but appearances can be deceiving. For the past year, I've been keeping a secret that would destroy everything if it got out. It started innocently enough with an email from someone called Your True Fan, commenting on an article I published in an obscure literary journal. Well, the email was thoughtful and insightful, noting connections in my work that few would have picked up on. It ended with, "I've followed your work for years. You have no idea how much it means to me." I was flattered. Any academic knows the feeling, the quiet thrill when someone actually reads and appreciates your work. I replied with a brief thank you, expecting that to be the end of it. 3 days later, another email arrives. Diving deeper into my research, I found myself writing a longer response. I was enjoying the intellectual challenge. And so began a correspondence that could quickly become the highlight of my days. My anonymous fan was brilliant, there's no other word for it. They had an encyclopedic knowledge of my field, often referencing obscure texts that I would only mention in passing years earlier. I never told Rebecca about these emails. I told myself they were not important enough to mention. Just a particularly engaged reader, nothing more. But then, Your True Fan referenced a comment I made during a conference question and answer session 5 years ago. A small event with perhaps 30 people? The idea that this person has been there, had remembered my words all these years, it suddenly felt unsettling. I should have ended it there, but I didn't. Instead, I asked, "Who are you? I would love to know whose work I should be following in return." The reply came quickly, "Oh, I'm nobody important. Just somebody who understands you better than most people in your life, even Rebecca." Well, my hands went clammy as I read that line. Seeing my wife's name typed by this stranger felt like a violation. "I think we should keep this professional," I wrote back. "Oh, of course. I simply meant that intellectual connections like ours are rare. Don't you find your colleagues, even your wife, sometimes failing to fully grasp the nuances of your work?" And there was the trap. Because they were right. Rebecca, for all her brilliance, worked in a different literary period. Our research rarely overlapped each other, and while she supported my career, she did not engage with my work the way this stranger did. So I kept writing, and the emails kept coming. 6 months in, Your True Fan suggested we move our conversation to a messaging app. For convenience, of course. Against my better judgment, I agreed. Our exchanges became more frequent, sometimes occurring late at night while Rebecca slept right beside me. The blue glow of my phone illuminating my face as I typed furiously, heart racing at the intellectual thrill of being truly understood. I began to structure my days around these conversations. I would rush through dinner with Rebecca just to get back to my study, claiming I need to work on a research. "Oh, you've been working awfully hard lately," Rebecca would say, concern in her voice. "Don't burn yourself out." If only she knew that what looked like dedication to my career was actually something else entirely. An intellectual affair conducted in secrecy, growing more intense by the day. Hell, by the hour. I still didn't know my correspondent's real name. They always just deflected, saying, "Isn't there something exciting about this anonymity? About connecting purely through ideas?" And there I was. I couldn't deny it. Then came the first real warning sign, a small package outside my office door. No shipping label, just my name and a very unfamiliar handwriting. Inside was the first edition, obscure Gothic novel I mentioned wanting to read in one of our early exchanges. The inscription read, "To help with your research from a dear friend." A sick feeling was settling in my stomach. How had they known which office was mine? Had they been here in the building? My building? That night, I confronted my correspondent. Did you leave a book outside my office today? Did you like it? I saw it in a rare bookshop and immediately thought of you. How did you know which office was mine? Oh, you mentioned your university several times. It wasn't hard to find your faculty page with your office number. I was in town and thought it would be a nice surprise. Did I overstep? Yeah, they had overstepped massively, but I found myself rationalizing it away. They were just being thoughtful. They had not done anything threatening, and the book was perfect for my research. I hid it in my desk drawer at work. I could not bring it home, could not explain to Rebecca where it had come from. Things escalated when a colleague mentioned a new visiting professor joining the department for the semester. Oh, she's brilliant, my colleague said. Working on early American Gothic literature, your area of expertise. You two should connect. The next day, I received a university email from a Dr. Elizabeth Crane, introducing herself as the new visiting professor and suggesting we meet to discuss research interest. My hand shook as I clicked on her faculty profile. The photo showed a woman about my age with dark-rimmed glasses with an intense gaze. I never had seen her before, but something about her expression made me certain this was her. Your true fan. We met for coffee on campus. She was exactly as brilliant in person as she's been in our exchanges. Not once did she mention our private correspondence, but I knew. I could feel it in how she referenced ideas we discussed and her familiarity with my thinking. As we were leaving, she said casually, I met your wife yesterday. She's lovely. You guys make a beautiful couple. My blood ran cold. That night, I messaged, your true fan, are you Elizabeth Crane? The response came an hour later. What would happen if I was? Well, I didn't respond because the truth was it mattered. As long as your true fan had been anonymous, I could pretend our relationship existed solely in the realm of ideas. But it was Elizabeth, and if my correspondent was now physically present in my life, interacting with colleagues, meeting my wife, everything changed. The next message came an hour later. I took the position because of you. I wanted to be closer to work with you. Is that so terrible? Yeah, it's terrible. This person orchestrated a major career move to be near me based on nothing more than an anonymous correspondence. Well, I set boundaries. I said we should keep our relationship strictly professional from now on as purely colleagues. But Elizabeth began appearing everywhere, suggesting collaborative projects in department meetings, sitting next to me at faculty lunches, even joining the same gym. Always professional, always friendly, but with an underlying intensity that made me deeply uncomfortable. Rebecca noticed. Oh, you seem tense whenever Dr. Crane's around, she observed after a department function. Is there some academic rivalry I should know about? Anything? Yeah, something like that. I muttered, unable to meet her eyes. The breaking point came when Rebecca and I invited several colleagues over for dinner, including Elizabeth. Throughout the evening, she was charming, engaging easily with our friends, complimenting Rebecca on the meal and our home. I watched her anxiously, waiting for her to reveal our secret correspondence, but she was perfectly appropriate. As the night drew on, I began to relax. Maybe I misjudged the situation. Then as she was helping Rebecca clear the dishes, I overheard her say, Oh, what a beautiful photo of the two of you in Maine. Was that your honeymoon? I froze because Rebecca and I have never been to Maine. Our honeymoon was in Oregon. There was no photo of us in Maine anywhere in our home. I think you're confused. We went to Oregon for our honeymoon. Oh, my mistake, Elizabeth replied smoothly. I must be thinking of someone else. But when her eyes met mine across the room, I saw a small, knowing smile that made my skin crawl. She hadn't made a mistake. She was letting me know that she had researched my personal life, and she knew Maine was where I grew up, where my parents still lived. After everyone left, I messaged her, Don't ever come to my home again, and do not contact me outside of necessary professional interactions. This ends now. Her reply, it came immediately. Oh, you don't mean that. We both know how much our connection means to you. You're just scared because it's real now, not just words on a little screen. I deleted the messaging app, changed my email password, and resolved to keep my distance. For 2 weeks, Elizabeth respected these boundaries, and she was cool but professional at department functions. I began to hope that perhaps she had understood my withdrawal. I should have known better. Last night, Rebecca knocked on my door while I was preparing lecture notes. Her face was pale, her hands clutching a manila envelope. This was in our mailbox. No stamp, no return address, just your name. Inside was a stack of papers, printouts of my correspondence and all the messages from your true fan spanning nearly a year. Every intimate intellectual exchange, every late-night philosophical debate, every personal detail I shared. At the top was a handwritten note. He shares his mind with me in ways he never has with you. Rebecca watched me with her eyes filling with tears. So it's true. You've been having an affair. It's not what you think. I said those words sounding hollow. It's just an academic discussion, intellectual exchange. In secrecy? While you pulled away from me? I'm not stupid. I can see what it is. The way you write to her, you never talk to me like that. Well, she was right. I had redirected all my intellectual energy into my exchanges with your true fan. I'd stopped sharing ideas with Rebecca, stopped engaging with her as a fellow scholar. I mean, who is she? Rebecca demanded. It's Elizabeth Crane. The new professor? The one who was in our home? She backed away from me and said she's been watching us and you let her in. I didn't know it was her at first. I protested weakly. It started anonymously, and by the time I figured it out... Well, by the time you figured it out, you were too invested to stop. I'm staying at Claire's tonight. I need time to think. After she left, I sat, holding the printouts with my mind racing. Elizabeth had crossed the final line. She had deliberately tried to destroy my marriage. This wasn't love or even obsession, it was malice. I was about to call campus security when my phone chimed with an email notification. I hope you understand why I had to do it. She was keeping us apart. Now, there's nothing in our way. Come to my office when you're ready to start our life together. I've loved you for so long. Guys, the email was not from Elizabeth Crane. It was from Rebecca's best friend, Claire. Oh my gosh, it hit me like a physical blow. Claire, quiet, bookish Claire, who's been Rebecca's friend since before I came into the picture. Claire, who's been at our dinner table countless times, who helped plan our wedding, who's been a constant presence in our lives. Claire was your true fan, not Elizabeth. All this time, I thought I was being watched by a brilliant stranger, when in reality it was someone hiding in plain sight. Someone who had used her intimate knowledge of my life, gained through her friendship with my wife, to create the perfect intellectual trap. The signs were there. Claire had attended the same small conference where she first heard me speak. As Rebecca's closest friend, she knew our schedules, knew when Rebecca would be asleep, and while I stayed up messaging, she had easy access to our home, could have left the book outside my office without raising any suspicion. And now Rebecca was at her home, undoubtedly hearing a carefully crafted version of the events that painted me as the villain and Claire as the supportive friend. I drove to Claire's house right away. When she opened up the door, her face showed a moment of surprise before settling into a practiced sympathy. I was just about to call you. Rebecca is upset. Where is she? Rebecca. Rebecca emerged from the guest bedroom, her eyes red from crying, and she said, "What are you doing here?" I held up my phone, showing the email from Claire. "Did you know about this? Did you know it was Claire all along?" "What are you talking about?" "The emails, the messages. It wasn't Elizabeth Crane, it was Claire." I turned to Claire, whose face had gone very still, and I said, Tell her who you've been pretending to be an anonymous fan with for months, how you manipulated everything to destroy our marriage." Claire's composure cracked slightly, and she said, "He's obviously desperate, making up a story." "Check your sent emails," I said to Rebecca. "Check Claire's account. I guarantee you'll find it." Rebecca looked between us, uncertainty in her eyes, and then she walked to Claire's laptop, still open on the coffee table. "Rebecca, don't!" Claire started, but it's too damn late. I watched as Rebecca navigated to Claire's email, as her face transformed from confusion to shock to a cold hard anger I've never seen before, and she said, "It was you. You did all this. You're your true fan?" Claire's facade finally collapsed. "I had to do something. You don't see how he treats you, how he takes you for granted. I've loved you for years. Watching you waste yourself on him when we could be..." Rebecca stepped back as if struck. "You weren't doing this because you wanted him. You were doing it to separate us because you wanted me?" Everything suddenly clicked into place. Claire's constant presence in our life, her intense interest in our marriage, the way she always seemed to be there when Rebecca and I argued. She had not been obsessed with me, she's been obsessed with Rebecca. "I need the both of you to leave," Rebecca said, her voice steadily despite her tears streaming down her face, and then she said, "Now." Well, that was 2 days ago. Rebecca staying at a hotel, refusing to see either of us, and I'm sleeping in my office at the uni, too haunted to return to our empty home. Elizabeth Crane has withdrawn from her visiting position, apparently genuinely disturbed to learn she was being impersonated and used as a scapegoat. I've lost everything that mattered to me because I could not recognize what was happening until it was too late. Because I was so flattered by the intellectual attention that I ignored every warning sign, every boundary crossed. My lawyer says I should document everything for the inevitable divorce proceedings. My department chair suggests a leave of absence until the situation resolves. But nothing will resolve the fundamental truth. I betrayed my marriage for the illusion of being understood. I let intellectual vanity blind me to manipulation. Rebecca deserved better than what I gave her. She deserved my full attention, my intellectual engagement, my respect as both wife and scholar. Instead, I directed all that energy to a phantom who turned out to be nothing but a calculated deception. Well, this is my confession and my warning. Between the thrill of being truly understood, sometimes that understanding comes at a price you never intend to pay.